A British student is outraged that he's being asked to take classes at his university that inform him about the issue of consent and sexual assault on college campuses. He feels that this is painting a negative picture of males on college campuses and unfortunately makes him seem as though he's sexist. So here's what he has to say. His name is George Lawlor, and he is studying politics and sociology at Warwick University, and he wrote that he was invited to a class via Facebook and found it, quote, a massive, painful, bitchy slap in the face and the biggest insult he's received in a good few years, right? Now keep in mind that this is just the normal type of class that you take when you're at a college campus. It's just to educate you on what is and isn't consent. And a lot of people think consent is black and white. In a lot of cases, it is. But sometimes when there's alcohol involved on a college campus or at a college-related party, the water gets a little murkier. It's a little more difficult to determine what is and is not consent. However, he doesn't see it that way. He says, I don't have to be taught to not be a rapist. That much comes naturally to me, as I am sure it does to the overwhelming majority of people you and I know. He also says, brand me a bigot, a misogynist, a rape apologist. I don't care. I stand by that. All right, so it's interesting because his picture that he posted along with a column that he wrote in the student newspaper includes him holding a sign that says, this is not what a rapist looks like. And I think that's a really interesting thing to say, because what does a rapist look like?
That was my next question.
Right?
Like, what does he look? How does one tell a rapist? Because if we could tell what rapist looks like, I'm pretty sure we would not be raped. We would avoid them at all costs if it was that simple to look at someone and go, oh, he's not going to rape me. It's silly.
You know, 80% of rapes occur by a man, or a person, I should say, that the victim knew already, right? So there's really no way to determine what a rapist looks like. It's absolutely ridiculous to say that. And it's strange that he has such a knee-jerk reaction to a class that I think can educate a lot of people, both men and women.
Right.
Because I know that there's this, you know, misconception that rape and sexual assault only impacts women. It impacts a lot of men as well. Right. And unfortunately, he's being really resistant to something that could be helpful. At least that's the way I see it.
That's true. I mean, you're right about it impacting men and women both. Sweden actually just installed a 24-hour clinic that deals with rape regarding only men. So this was in Stockholm, outside of their major hospital there. I mean, this impacts a lot of people, sir. I don't know why you're taking it so personally, but perhaps some people do need lessons in consent, because you're right. When you get to that place of no, maybe doesn't mean no right now, or we've had too much to drink, let's just cuddle. Perhaps there should be some ground rules. I'm not saying that there should be a consent form that should be legally signable or admissible, but perhaps there should be a class for people. I don't know why he would take it so personally, though. That is a little weird.
Yeah, I feel like he feels as though people are pointing the finger at him and making it seem as though he's a rapist.
Yeah. Why is he making it about him?
It's not about you. It's about educating people about situations that might seem a little difficult to decipher. And again, when there's alcohol involved, when there are substances involved, it's not as clear-cut, and that's okay. We have conversations like that quite a bit on the Young Turks, where we disagree about the amount of alcohol involved and whether or not something is or isn't considered consent. And again, it's not as black and white as you think. And not only men are, told to take this class, women are told to take this class as well. So it's not pointing fingers at any particular person.
No, women can be predators too. I really want to make that point. This is not a gender issue at all. I know that typically rapes are reported mostly by women, but it's not a sexist thing here, sir. It's just not.
Exactly.
I think, too, what's important is he said that, most people know right from wrong, or people know yes means yes. Most people know that. And I think that's what we take for granted. Most people, unfortunately, don't know that. And I think that culture dictates what's right or wrong, like what you're around. So that whole frat boy culture, within that community, certain things are okay.
Yes.
It's the same reason why outside, when a guy is at home around his family, he might be a nice boy, but when he's in that frat boy community, the culture is different. It's like, yeah, and then you get boys will be boys. So it's like culture dictates what's right or wrong, and the only thing that sort of changes culture is education.